Hi everyone, it's Dorothy's Creations here, and I'm here to show off some tags I made for a swap that I'm doing at UK Ireland Craft Swaps. It's just a Facebook group. I'll put the link down below. And we do swaps, and this time I'm swapping with Miss Yvonne. And Yvonne, if you are watching, don't, because I'm going to be showing off your tags and I'm going to be posting to you in the morning. We were to make 3 tags, and they were to have dress forms on them. So this is what I've made for Yvonne. This is the first one I've made, and this one here is, all my tags are 6 by 3 inches. I made them all exactly the same. I made them out of 1mm chipboard or gray board, and I did different things. So like this one I've painted, and I painted with a Dulux color called Buttermilk, and then coated it with Mod Podge so it was all shiny on the back to protect the back. I left the back blank so that you could write on it, put a message on it, give it away, or write your own notes on it. But with this is covered with a, it used to be a headband, and it was like flower, had flowers stitched in it. So they're like the silk rosettes that are in the lace form, and that's covering the back. And then I've added 2 different types of beige lace. We've got a ruffle lace, and then this one was more flat, but they've come over the sides of the tag from the back. And then what I added on top, first of all, it's stamped in the back. Oh, you can hardly even see it, but I have some vintage Paris stamps from Habico that I used on the back. And so you can kind of see it a little bit back there. These are printables from a Digi-Scrap kit that I downloaded. It was a free Digi-Scrap kit, and it came with all of these really pretty dress forms. So I printed it off on some beige cardstock, and I fussy cut it out, and I layered it on top of some black card and fussy cut that out, just leaving a little bit of a border. And I did, these 2 images came from the same Digi-Scrap kit. I will link to the Digi-Scrap kit if I can find it. I know where it's in, but I don't know if I can find it online, but I will do my best. But then again, I fussy cut them out on some black cardstock as well, and it's all coated with Mod Podge to give it, it's matte Mod Podge, but it does give it a little bit of a gloss, and it also protects the images because it's inkjet. And then I just added some fabric roses, and these are some gems that used to come from a pair of sandals of mine. They had this really pretty black and rhinestone chain that went up the middle, and the shoes broke and I couldn't wear them anymore, but the chains were still good on them, so I cut the little bits off the chain. And that's what happens with these little, they're like silvery pearls, and I added them. And then I just added some seam binding that I dyed, and some of the straight lace as a tie on the top. Now the second one I made has a sewing theme. And this one's pretty basic, but again, it's a chipboard tag, 6 by 3 inches. The back I covered with buff cardstock. Everything's distressed with vintage photo distress ink. And these are 3 digital papers. There's this blue flower, there's a text one, and then this floral one that I got downloaded off of farfarhill.blogspot.com. They have different vintage things you can download, and I use those and printed it off, and then I tore them, distressed them, and kind of just folded it up a little bit in areas to give it some depth. And then I added some gathered tulle at the bottom to make a little bit of a fringe. And then these 4 shapes I cut out with my Silhouette SD. I've just found some pings online, and then I just in my graphics I transferred them into a file, a ping file, and then took them into my Silhouette Studio software and created cutting files for them. So it's a pair of scissors, a dress form, a spool, and a sewing machine. And then after I cut them out with my silhouette, I embossed them with Tim Holtz Alterations embossing folder called measuring tape, and it's all measuring tapes. So it's all like measurements. And this was another one that came in the same set. It was stitches. So it's just embossed the buff cardstock, and then I just added some twine that's got gold metallic threads around the spool. I added a few buttons and a bow around the neck of the dress form, and then just added some color coordinated ribbons to the top. And the last one I'm the most proudest of, because this one took a lot of work. This one is, again, the 6x3 tag. It's a little bit longer, but that's because it's got, because of this bit here. See, oops, it's dirty. I painted it white, and again, I Mod Podged it to protect it so it wouldn't stain or anything. But with the front, the background is an old net curtain that I used to have, and I bought new ones for my front windows, but the old ones, I washed them real well and bleached them, and I just cut a piece of it off, and it ended up making this fringe here at the bottom. This is the end of the curtain. So I cut it to fit the tag, and then I added different parts to it. These are all glued on. I've got some metal bits, which is this little fan leaf. I've got a metal like brooch or frame here. I've got a metal butterfly, and I've got a metal corner right here, and then I've overlaid it with beads. I've got some beads stuck in here, and these are paper flowers and some little flowers and some other paper flowers, and then we've got some up here and a big one here. This is a silk. These two are silk flowers, and this is a metal flower as well. I'm sorry, that was the metal bit. And then what I did was I gessoed the whole thing, and then after I gessoed it, I sprayed it. I put it in my box and I sprayed it with a bunch of different colors. I got my new Imagination Crafts Ink-a-Dinks, and I have a 4-color set. I used 3 of those colors. I used Candy Floss, Cranberry Sorbet, and Grape Juice. And I used those 3 colors, and I spritzed the whole thing over. Then I added some more gesso. Then I spritzed it with Mr. Huey's Shine spray and spritzed it over that, then added more gesso, and then to top it all off, I've got some gold. I've got a Adirondack paint dauber in gold, and I went over all that, still added more gesso. And then this is cut out with my silhouette, and this was a dress form SVG I found online, and so I cut that out. It was a freebie. And I did the same technique with that. I gessoed it, I paint daubed it, I spritzed it, I sprayed it, and added that to the top, and then just stuck a little bit of ribbon on there. This didn't really need too much on the top because it was so fancy, and I'd done a lot of work with this. This one took like half a day to make. So I do hope that Yvonne likes my tags that I've made for her. I think they turned out really cute. There you go. There's all 3 of them together. Thanks a lot for looking, everybody. Happy crafting. Bye.